Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and to this time-lapse version of a fiery sunset in soft pastel. As always, these are turned into long real-time tutorial series over on my Patreon channel. I'll add the links in the description below if you'd like to come and learn along with me step by step. But if you do enjoy this here, then please do hit subscribe here on YouTube. And do check out all of my other playlists here for lots of pastel related videos to get you started in this wonderful medium. For this piece I am working on the Canson velvet paper. I've been using it quite a lot recently, testing it out with different subject matter. And I am enjoying it for the landscapes, so I thought it would be nice to try out something watery and something with some dramatic colours in it. And this really fitted the bill. So this is 16 by 14 inches. And I'm using mostly unison soft pastels with just a couple of Terry Ludwig's added in. But there's absolutely no pastel pencil in this one, just lots of fun with the bigger sticks. Lots of lovely mark making when we get down to the water, but in the sky area especially, lots of smudging and blending, which I also love to do. So as you can see, my palette for this one is super vibrant. The idea was to create this with a almost rainbow-like palette. So very few in-between kind of shades or tints even. Mostly full hue colours, really high chroma colours. And it really does cover most of the colour spectrum in this one painting, including some green that goes into the sky, some colours that perhaps you wouldn't expect to see. But that's what I loved about this photo reference. I took this photo on the north coast of Ireland, and I've had the photo for many years and I've overlooked it many times when searching through my photo reference for some painting inspiration. And that's often what happens with me. I'll take a photo which will sit in my folder of photographs for many years, getting overlooked time and time again, until one day it just jumps out at me. I can see the painting all of a sudden. And I took this photo reference on one of my very last evenings on this beach in a place called Portrush on the north coast of Ireland. I haven't actually been there in about 8 or 9 years since I left Ireland. And so this final sunset that I spent some time photographing felt like the most beautiful farewell to the north coast of Ireland. So I was very happy to spend some time working on this and just thinking of the place. I've painted since then many scenes from other countries as well, and I've done a lot of landscape painting from Ireland, so I've enjoyed looking at the difference in lighting that you get down here in the south of Spain. But I do always enjoy painting Ireland again. It just feels so familiar when I return to these images. And there is something extra magical about the colours of the sunsets in Ireland. And I really hoped that I could capture a sense of that magic in this painting. So you can see in around where the setting sun actually is, I've got some of my brightest, most vibrant colours. And I've saved a little piece of pure white for just the very centre of that setting sun. And when you surround that with all of the other vibrant, warm tones, the idea is that it makes it truly glow within the painting. So I spent a long time actually working on just the sky, trying to build up all of the very subtle changes in colour by using lots of layers of soft pastel and lots of blending and softening of my colours. So I actually do mix some of the colours on the paper rather than coming in with exactly the colour I can see. In some places here, I'm really almost misting the colour over the top of the colour underneath. Because in my view, that's what I can see happening in the sky. Like we get these colourful mists that are building up to the rich and very deep sense of the colours of the sky. Whereas now, when it comes to the water, I tend to use a slightly different approach where I'm using individual marks a lot more to build up the effect and at the same time to build up the sense of movement and the texture of the water. So all of this I will cover in the full-length tutorial series. I actually put a vote out to my patrons over on Patreon. I gave them a choice between two equally spectacular sunsets, and the majority of them voted for this one, and I'm so glad that they did. Sometimes it helps me a lot to just get some other opinions on which image they think will turn into the nicest painting. Because at this stage, when choosing what to paint next, I had looked through my hundreds and hundreds of photographs several times, and at some point I just wasn't sure what I should paint next. So it was really nice to get their opinion, and for so many of them to choose this image. It really made me feel like I was onto something with this image. So you can see the dark tone that I'm bringing in here. That's one of my dark Terry Ludwigs. It's like a dark navy kind of colour. And that is the darkest value in the entire painting. So there's no black. There's a tiny bit of pure white on the sun itself. But no pure black. And just heaps of colour everywhere you look. And I was looking forward most of all to this middle band of crashing waves here. I could see so much colour within the waves, but at the same time, they are pretty dark because the sun is behind them. We're not really getting much light catching the wave itself. And we're certainly not getting any white foam because your brain tries to tell you that the foam on these waves should be white. But in this image, it was very clear that it's anything but white. And then where we do get a little bit of the backlight, just catching the tips of the waves, there you can see that I've added some of my coral oranges and reds that I used in the sunset. And all of those vibrant colours really lead to a hopefully very dramatic image. That was my aim with this. So at this stage, I pretty much have my palette of colours flowing now. I've kind of picked all of the colours for the different areas. I know what values are working. And so I work on down the water onto the beach at the very front of the painting at the very bottom. And I start to get bigger areas blocked in now just so that I can work all of the water at once. And of course, the setting sun just to the right of the center of the painting, that is casting a strip of warmth right down the entire piece. And so all of my colours are kind of bursting outwards from that section where we get the most amount of warmth. And then it was about filtering those little marks of warmth out to the left and the right of that setting sun and its reflection. So a really inviting set of colours used in this piece. I hope that when my patrons work along with this, that they're going to have as much fun as I did. Quite a freeing type of piece to work on. No fiddly details, just more and more expressive marks as we come down the painting. Because once you hit the water area, then you can really loosen up and use multiple layers of little marks just to build up the effect. So just making it down to the bottom, adding a bit more warmth in this reflection of the sun. But a huge amount of fun to work on this. It took me around 6 hours to work on, so not a huge amount of time either. That is how long the real-time tutorial series will be. And I have a growing selection of landscapes and things like this in my library. And although I'm probably more known for painting animals and portraits, I have been really enjoying branching out into landscapes and other subject matter in recent years. So please do come and check me out over on Patreon if you'd like to learn from any of my real-time tutorials. I also have lots of videos here on YouTube to get you started. Please do remember to subscribe, but thanks very much for watching, and until next time, happy pasteling.